Okay, so welcome back to episode 4 of the Cerebellum Podcast. Hope you guys are having a good week. So this week we are going to be talking about, and last week we talked about 3 things that you can do in order to lose weight and to be healthier going into 2025. Obviously, it's midway through 2025, so hopefully you've taken some of those things and you're applying them already. But no worries. So today we are going to be talking about one of those 3 steps, which is nutrition. So in order to lose weight, build muscle, to be overall healthier this year, the first thing that we're going to talk about and really dive into is the nutrition aspect. Now, before I even go into this, most people will pay, hundreds and hundreds per month for a personal trainer, which is fantastic. I love exercise. And as someone who used to be a personal trainer, that is not a bad thing. You need to be investing in exercise and working out, knowing how to do that, staying, being safe when you do exercises because you know the exercises now. That's important. But if you are really trying to lose weight and build muscle and just overall be healthier, what you need to prioritize the most is nutrition. If we had this pie chart, and this pie was split into 2, and it was exercise and nutrition, and we were trying to figure out, okay, out of this pie, what percentage of the pie is going to be exercise, what percentage of the pie is going to be nutrition, right? And all of these together would basically make the best pie for losing weight and building muscle, right? So what percentage would the exercise piece be? What percentage would the nutrition piece be? So a lot of people think it's actually 50%, maybe 50-50, maybe 60% nutrition, 40% exercise. Some people think it's the opposite, right? 60% exercise. What it really is it's over 80% nutrition. Over 80%. Nutrition is number 1 when it comes to losing weight. It's very simple, right? I always say that it's very simple, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy. It's not easy, but it is simple. And so if you are going to lose weight and you want to lose weight, it makes sense that you would invest in a trainer. If you want accountability for your workouts, if you're new to working out, if you want, sort of the simple solution of, okay, this is what you need to do. Boom, 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 boom. Here you go. I'm going to help you with that. Great. But if you truly want to lose weight, and you know that most of that pie of you losing weight and building muscle, being healthier, is nutrition, well, wouldn't it make sense if you actually invested most of your time, effort, and resources into help with the nutrition? And so that was sort of my philosophy of why I transitioned into what I'm doing now and what we're doing at Cerebellum Health Coaching. Is I was a personal trainer and I was helping people, with exercises, with their workouts, and it was great while they were there because they would see me, 2 hours, 3 hours a week. Fantastic, right? But if we know that 80% at least of them losing weight, building muscle, and that's what I knew, is the nutrition piece, well, I couldn't really help them that much. And I wasn't allowed to help them. I went to my boss and I asked him, hey, can I help with the nutrition, right? Can I help with the nutrition piece? Can I give them meal plans? Can I do this and that? And he said no. Because at the time I wasn't a nutrition coach. And my role as a personal trainer is to be a personal trainer, not to do anything else. They had a nutritionist. And so I was like, you know what? This doesn't make sense. Why don't we put these 2 things together so that you're not just getting one or the other, because both are very, very important for you to lose weight and build muscle. Why don't we put both of these things together with the accountability, with the personal training, with the exercise, or with the nutrition, so that you can actually lose weight and build muscle and you don't have to go to different people and do all this sort of thing. Let's just have it in one package that's simple. It's the same person that you're talking to, the same person that's your personal trainer, is your nutrition coach, so on and so forth. So that's why we do what we do. But for you, if you know that nutrition is a key, it's the most important part of you losing weight and building muscle, then you need to think about, well, am I really prioritizing, most of my eggs into the nutrition piece? I'm not saying you shouldn't have a personal trainer, but maybe you should also think about the nutrition piece and getting some accountability or support there as well. And so what we're going to be talking about today is how you can go ahead and lose weight, build muscle in 2025 through your nutrition. So first thing that we're going to talk about is if you want to lose weight, you need to be in what we call a caloric deficit. So a caloric deficit is very simple. What you have in terms of calories every single day, your maintenance calories are the calories that you need in order to stay pretty much the exact same weight that you're at right now. So those are your maintenance calories, right? So let's just say your body burns just from doing, keeping you alive, digesting food, things of that nature. It burns about, say, 1,600 calories per day, which is pretty normal. So it does about 1,600 calories per day. Then on top of that, you're also doing, you're walking, maybe you're working out, maybe you're running. So those are your extra calories as well. So your active calories. And so if you want to be in a caloric deficit, you need to know, okay, well, my maintenance calories are this. And then this is about how many active calories I burn pretty much every day. So you need to add those two things together. Now, in order to find what those numbers are, there's a few ways that you can do it. But the easiest way that I find is just to go online and look for a TDEE calculator. So if you type in advanced, right, like the word ADVANCED, TDEE, which stands for Total Daily Energy Expenditure. If you just type that in, advanced TDEE, you are going to find a website which is labeled, I think, Energy Expenditure Advanced or something like that. And it's going to give you what I think is the most accurate maintenance calories and active calories, because you can put a lot of information in there about you and about what you do. And so with that, you can figure out, okay, this is how many calories I burn on a daily basis with my maintenance and with my active. Should take you about 5-10 minutes. Easy, done. Then you have that. Okay, cool. So once you find that number, which is your total daily energy expenditure, aka your maintenance plus your active calories that you burn every single day, then what you need to figure out is, okay, how many pounds do I want to lose per week? So most people will say, I want to lose as many as I can. I want to lose as many as I can. Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds a week. That's not sustainable, and you're going to be losing a lot of muscle as well. What I recommend is you're somewhere in between the 200 to 700 calorie deficit, meaning you'll lose about half a pound to a pound and a half per week. I wouldn't really go over that, to be fair. So about a pound to half a pound per week is what you want to lose. Now, in order to do that, what you're going to do is, okay, say you want to lose a pound per week, which is about 500 calories deficit. So if you want to lose a pound per week, then what you're going to do is that number that you come up with for your TDEE, right, your maintenance plus active calories, that's your TDEE. All you're going to do is take that number, so let's say it's 2,500, and then you're just going to subtract it by 500. Boom. Done. And then you just eat that consistently. 2,000 calories per day. And that will help you to literally lose a pound per week. Now that is why it's so important that nutrition is key, because look, you can work out as much as you want. You can go for another run. Maybe that tacks on another 200, 300 calories for you. Maybe, and that sort of thing. But you're going to be more hungry, and you're just going to be more tired, and you're going to be a little bit more, maybe not stressed, but your body's going to be stressed. It's going to take more time for recovery. So the best way to just lose weight is to stick to, a 500 calorie deficit. I find. Now, you might say, well, Josh, why don't I just do a pound and a half or 2 pounds or 3 pounds, right? And I briefly went over this. The reason that you don't do that is because you'll be sacrificing a lot more muscle than you need to when you're losing that weight. So obviously, when our body loses weight, we're losing fat, right? But also we can be losing muscle, tissue, things of that nature. Water is a big one as well. So if you think about it, like, let's just say you're losing 5 pounds. And you can either lose 5 pounds, say, in 2 weeks by losing 2.5 pounds. You could lose weight in 5 weeks, the 5 pounds. You could lose those 5 pounds in 5 weeks by doing 1 pound per week. What you'll find is that if you want to lose those 5 pounds, the ratio of muscle to fat, of how much you actually lost for both, you're going to find that you've lost more muscle in the same 5 pounds that you're going to lose if you do, say, like, lose 2.5 pounds per week rather than you did like 1 pound. So it's a delayed gratification thing. So if you want to lose weight consistently, and for most people, they want to lose weight and they want to keep as much muscle as they can on because they want that lean physique. If not, you really just look like a smaller version of what you already look like right now. Then what you'll want to be as close to, like, say, 1 pound, maybe even 0.5 pound per week of you losing. So anywhere between, say, like the 200 to 500. Now, if you have, like, for example, I've got a trip I'm going on in early March, and you want to look good for that, and it's only 8 weeks away, 10 weeks away, and I've got good muscle mass. I've been bulking up recently, so in that sort of situation, okay, cool, let's bump it up to, say, 700 calorie deficit, which is basically what I'm at right now, and that's about 1.5 pounds per week. No problem. But I would never go over that. That's just too much, especially because you got to factor in, you need to get your protein in, which is what we'll talk about next, and your overall calories in. So that's caloric deficit. So just to recap, if you want to lose weight, you need to be in a caloric deficit. Your caloric deficit is simply your TDEE, so your total daily energy expenditure, which is your maintenance calories plus your active calories, which you can find on advanced TDEE. If you just search that up in the web browser, it's going to be the first thing that pops up, and you can find it there for free online. Then you just subtract by anywhere from 200 to 700 calories. So that'll get you to about 0.5 pound to 1.5 pounds per week lost. Cool. So that's number 1 is caloric deficit. Number 2 is protein intake. So your protein intake. Why do you need protein, right? What does protein do? So what dietary protein does is it helps to repair the muscle fibers that have been temporarily damaged through resistance training and through other forms of exercise and working out and that sort of thing. So when we work out, we're actually damaging our muscle tissue, right? We're stretching it, we're lengthening it. And so what happens is when you get enough protein in, is the protein comes in and it actually rebuilds the muscle fibers and actually makes them stronger. And so that's why you get stronger, is because those muscle fibers have been repaired from dietary protein. So protein is really, really essential, because if you don't repair that with protein, then you're just going to probably hurt yourself on accident, like injure yourself on accident. And you don't want that. So, or, you just don't, you don't gain any muscle, you don't really get any stronger. So you don't want that either. So it's really, really important that you get your dietary protein in. So how much protein do you need per day? So every day, you need, the bare minimum that you need is 0.8 grams per pound of your body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, very, very easy calculation for this is it's just 80% of 200. So if you're 200 pounds, then you'd be needing at least 160 grams of protein per day. 160 grams of protein per day is what you need on a daily basis, bare minimum. Now, if you're, 100 pounds, then that's 80 grams of protein per day, bare minimum. And, you can get these in through multiple sources. I mean, things like chicken, things like fish, things like meat, things like eggs, things like protein powder. Now, if you're going to, here we go. I always talk about the NSF certified because it's It's so good. And if you don't get NSF certified stuff, you really don't know what's in it. So NSF certified, essentially what that means is if you get a protein powder, if you get a supplement, like say like online, right, or at Walmart or wherever, it's going to have it should have little certifications that you see on the branding of it. Now, the one that you want to look for is NSF certified. And what that means is that product is basically tested to the max. You know what's in it. You know the dosage is right. It's used for people who are in, say, Division I sports. It's used for people who are, in professional sports who get drug tested all the time. So those products need to make sure, they have to have the exact dosage right. They have to make sure that there's not, trace materials of other stuff in there. And so if you have, say you get like protein powder and it's not NSF certified, you honestly do not know what's in it. That you might be like, no, there's no way. You don't know. They don't have the time, the resources. They don't put that into checking every single package and supplement to see, hey, is this 1% of the dosage, right? Does it say there's 100 milligrams in here, but it's actually just 1? Is it 4 times the amount, right? And you can easily see how that could be not a good situation if you're having 4 times the amount that it says on the packaging. So if you're getting a supplement, if you're getting, something like protein powder or creatine, monohydrate, something like that, always make sure you're getting NSF certified products because you know what's in them. And you can look online for NSF certified products and you can just go on their website and see, hey, these are all the options. Again, I'm not branded by them, or not branded, but I'm not sponsored by them. I don't get money from them. This is just what I found in my experience has been the best, from my research, from classes, things like that. Everyone's pointing towards NSF certified products being the best in terms of safety. Okay, cool. But in terms of protein, right? If you're getting a protein powder, always make sure it's NSF certified. So there are different types of protein. So protein is made up of these like little building blocks, right? If you think of one little dietary protein, it's made up of all these like little Lego blocks essentially called amino acids. So if you think of a protein as like a Lego house, it's made up of all these little blocks, these Lego blocks called amino acids. Now, in order to create what we call a complete protein, it has to have all 20, I believe. It's either all 20 or most of them. I can't remember. But essentially, it has to have most of the amino acids. And there are 20 amino acids. Some are what we call non-essential, and other are what we call essential amino acids. Non-essential amino acids are they are amino acids that our body produces naturally, whereas essential amino acids are amino acids that our body needs to consume through our diet. So a complete protein is generally the best type of protein. So some examples of complete proteins would be red meat, chicken, fish, dairy, quinoa, funnily enough. Actually buckwheat as well, I believe. And so those are some examples of complete proteins. And so when you're thinking about, hey, okay, what should I eat for my 0.8 grams per pound of body weight for protein? You want the complete proteins, right? And I'll have to double check on this. I believe it depends on what protein powder you get. I'd assume that NSF certifieds are complete proteins. Not 100% sure on that. But what I do know is fish, red meat, chicken, buckwheat, quinoa, dairy, all that stuff, right? Whole foods, going back to Mother Nature, essentially, is a complete protein. And that's what you should generally look for when you're looking for protein sources and things like that. Now you might say, Josh, well, it's easy to just grab a protein bar. protein bars are essentially candy with some protein in it. It's got so much crap in there. Essentially, you really just want to stay away as much as you can from things like that are in wrappers and stuff like that. It's got so many chemicals in there and just artificial sweeteners and things of that nature. And there's so much, data coming out at the moment where, these things are pointing towards, sickness, things like cancer, and that sort of thing. So a good rule of thumb is really just stick to the whole foods, the complete protein sources. You can look up online, hey, more complete protein sources, and you could even ask ChatGPT to make you a meal plan based off of complete protein sources, and that would be absolutely fine. Especially now, if you are going to make a change to your lifestyle, if you're going to make a change to, anything really, you should always consult your doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. I am a personal trainer, and I am a certified personal trainer and a certified nutrition coach, giving my opinion and from what I know and from helping myself, and then also helping people as well. I'm not telling you should do these things, but I'm giving you my recommendations based off of my personal experience of what I would do, myself. So that's out there. So those are complete protein sources. So that's number 2, is getting 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And then number 3, and this sort of ties into what we were just talking about with the whole foods, is, and this is an essential for losing weight and building muscle, but it is for your energy levels, and it is for just improving things like your biological age, which is how your body's operating based off of, things like your lipid panel and essentially how your body is aging is what it is to eat at least 80% clean. Honestly, this is something that I sometimes struggle with just because I have struggled with. I'm a lot better at it now, but I used to not be like, okay, well, if I just get my protein in and I hit my calories, then I should be good to go. Which, if you want to lose weight and you want to build muscle, that's absolutely fine. Hit those calories, hit the protein, good to go. But if you want more energy, if you want to feel better, if you care about, things like what you're actually putting into your body is good stuff, then you're going to want to go for at least 80% of your calories are from whole foods, good foods, things that you know are in them, probably not from like a wrapper or something like that. And so if you think about that, right, this is the 80-20 rule. So 80% of your calories are good, 20% is whatever. So if you eat 2,000 calories a day, right, if you figure out your TDEE is 2,500 and you want to be losing 1 pound per week, and then you realize, okay, well, I need to eat 500 calories less per day than 2,500 in order to do 1 pound per week, then you'd be eating 2,000 calories a day. And so if you said, okay, well, I want 80% of that to be clean, and 20% of that can be whatever else, then about 1,600 of your calories is you'd want from whole foods, good foods, things like that, which also gives you a little bit of leeway because you can say, okay, well, I don't really need to cut out the things I love. As long as I'm hitting my protein, I get my calories in that I need to, which is 2,000 in this example, and 1,600 of those are, good quality foods, then cool. The 400 can be whatever I want. Cookies, sweets, things of that nature. And that's sustainable for most people. Because most people, when they get on a diet, especially this time of year in January, they're like, you know what? No more sugar, no more carbs. They're going away forever. And then by this time, which is January 18th, I believe, they are struggling because they have relapsed and they realize, oh, carbs, sugar, I actually kind of like that stuff. And it actually improves my quality of life. Because when I go out and I go to, a restaurant with my family, they're eating, things that I like at dessert, and I don't really want to be that person who's just like not eating it, and just staying away from bread, and I have to take my bun off the burger and all this stuff, and yeah, as long as you're hitting your calories, as long as you're getting your protein in, and most of the foods that you're eating, 80% are clean, good foods. I mean, just enjoy life a little bit. I used to be the same way where I would not have the sugar, I would not have this stuff. And overall, I mean, this is different for person by person, I'm sure, but for me, it's not worth it, right? Like, I love one of my favorite foods, sweet foods, I'll say, because I'd say my favorite food is probably steak. One of my favorite sweet foods is, cookies. I love cookies, right? The chocolate chip cookies. Oh, fantastic. So if you told me I could never have a cookie again, or, maybe a brownie or something like that, like, I would be distraught. My quality of life would go down. Yeah, I might be a few years younger on my biological age over a few years, sure. But my quality of life probably wouldn't be as good. And at the end of the day, that's a decision you have to make for yourself. So what I always recommend is 80% clean, 20% whatever else. Totally fine. And that's sustainable for most people. So those are three things that we are going to, those are three things that are going to help you lose weight and build muscle, and just feel overall better. So I hope that's helpful for you. Like I said, those three things are: number one, being in a caloric deficit; number two, having at least 0.8 grams of protein per body weight; and then number three is the 80-20 rule. So 80% clean of your calories, and then 20% of whatever else you want. So I hope that's helpful. In the next episode, we are going to be talking about the second step, which I'm actually blanking on right now, in order to help you lose weight and build muscle, that we talked about in the last one, the last episode. I'm sure it's something about exercise or steps or something like that. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. If you found this helpful, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast. And if you guys ever have any ideas or topics that you want me to go over, please leave them in the comments, because I would absolutely love to. This is for you. This is not for me, right? I don't really get anything out of this. It's completely free. Takes up 30 minutes of my week, plus editing and all that stuff. So this is all for you guys. So if you want anything, please leave it in the comments, and I will get to it when I can. All right. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you later. All right. Bye-bye.